Why are American seniors aging faster than elders anywhere else on Earth? Welcome to Elder Secrets, where untold truths of aging are revealed. In today's episode, we uncover what's really accelerating aging in the U.S. and what you can do to avoid it. Let's dive into the overlooked habits and hidden systems that may be stealing years from millions.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something, well, a bit puzzling. We've got all this amazing medical tech, right? But American seniors, it seems like they're aging faster, facing more health issues than seniors in other developed places. Why is that happening? It really changes what getting older looks like in the U.S.
It's a huge question.
So our mission today is to try and unravel this. Look at all the different threads contributing to this accelerated aging. We want to understand the why, what it means for the future, and importantly, what we can maybe do about it.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we're drawing on a really thorough analysis called America's Accelerated Aging Crisis. It gives a comprehensive look.
And the things we'll unpack today, wow, it's a long list. Healthcare systems, our food environment, like our whole lives eating certain things.
Yeah, and social isolation, environmental toxin stuff maybe you don't think about immediately.
Chronic stress, sleep patterns, how much we move or don't move.
Prescription drug culture, that's a big one. Mental health stigma too.
Plus, just our general attitudes about aging, economic pressures, even like technology gaps. It's all connected.
It really is. And maybe we should start with the numbers, because they paint a pretty stark picture.
Okay.
Researchers talk about compressed morbidity. Sounds technical, but basic.
Great.
Meaning American seniors are living more of their final years with significant disability and disease compared to folks elsewhere. It's like the healthy part of old age is getting squeezed.
Right. So life expectancy in the U.S. is what, around 78 years?
Yeah, roughly.
Uh-huh.
But the key thing isn't just the total years, it's the healthy years, the quality.
Oh, okay. So how do we compare?
Well, take Japan. Life expectancy is about 84, and people are often healthy well into their 80s.
Big difference.
Or Switzerland, they get nearly 73 healthy years out of an average 83-year lifespan.
Wow. And us?
American seniors, on average, are spending their last 12 to 15 years managing multiple chronic conditions, mobility issues, even cognitive decline.
12 to 15 years. That's a huge chunk of life.
It really is. Dr. Sarah Chen, a geriatrician, put it starkly. She said it's like they've aged an extra decade by the time they hit 65.
An extra decade. Oof. And this isn't just feeling a bit run down, right? There are specific health markers.
Oh, absolutely. Higher rates of diabetes, heart disease, obesity. Much higher than international peers.
And how much higher?
Get this, nearly 60% of Americans over 65 have at least 2 chronic conditions.
60%.
Compare that to Denmark or the Netherlands, where it's only around 35%.
I'd say that's a massive gap.
And dementia rates. While they're actually going down in parts of Europe, ours have stayed stubbornly high.
That's really worrying, especially given how much we spend on healthcare. It seems counterintuitive.
Exactly. We spend the most per capita, yet our seniors need more intense medical care, more long-term care. It becomes this costly cycle.
And the stress from that cost probably doesn't help the aging process either.
Definitely not. And this isn't like inevitable. 50 years ago, U.S. seniors were among the world's healthiest.
So this is a newer trend.
Relatively new, yeah. A gradual but consistent decline. It suggests something systemic has shifted over the past few decades.
Which leads us straight into that healthcare paradox. We lead in medical breakthroughs, but it's not translating to better aging for the average person. Why not?
Well, our system is incredible at acute care. Heart attacks, accidents, world-class treatment for immediate crises.
Right, the emergency stuff.
But it struggles with the long game, the continuous coordinated care needed for healthy aging. It's more episodic, fix the problem now, but maybe not prevent the next one.
I see that. Like you go to a heart specialist, a kidney specialist, maybe a neurologist.
Exactly. Multiple specialists, often brilliant, but not always talking to each other. There's fragmentation.
So nobody's really looking at the whole person.
Often, no. And that fragmentation can lead to medication mix-ups, contradictory advice, things that actually accelerate aging.
Whereas in places like Denmark or Japan,
You often have a primary care doctor who's the central coordinator. They emphasize prevention, they know the whole picture.
and our insurance, like Medicare, seems to pay more for doing procedures than for, say, spending time coordinating care or preventing illness in the first place.
That's a huge part of it. The incentives often favor intervention over prevention.
It feels backwards for long-term health.
It kind of is. We're great at saving you after the crisis hits, but maybe not so great at preventing the crisis overall.
And what about things outside the doctor's office, like housing, food, social connection? Does our system address those?
Generally, no, not in an integrated way. Unlike, say, Germany, where social services might be linked more closely to health, here it's often separate. You're navigating different agencies, different systems.
Which brings us to medications, the polypharmacy crisis, you called it.
Yeah. American seniors take a lot more meds on average. Over 4 prescriptions is typical. Elsewhere, it's often fewer than 3.
And each drug might be okay on its own, together.
Exactly. The cumulative burden. It can impact cognition, increase fall risk, cause new problems from interactions. Are we over-medicalizing aging itself?
That's a tough question.
Plus, the cost. High copays, donut holes. It creates chronic stress. Seniors might have to choose between meds and food.
An impossible choice. And access is still an issue too, right? Especially in rural areas.
Big time. Finding specialists or even just consistent primary care can be a real struggle depending on where you live.
Okay, let's shift gears. The food environment. You mentioned this generation grew up with the rise of industrial food.
A massive shift. Processed foods, artificial additives, ingredients stripped of nutrients, they became the norm.
So it's not just what they eat now, it's decades of exposure.
Decades. Our typical diet has way more processed stuff, added sugars, inflammatory oils compared to, say, Mediterranean or traditional Asian diets.
And that fuels chronic inflammation.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Inflammation is a key driver of aging. It's like this low-level fire, constantly simmering, damaging cells and tissues over time.
So a lifetime burden of processing additives, preservatives, it ages you faster at a cellular level.
It does. And sugar. Sugar is particularly rough. It accelerates the formation of these things called advanced glycation end products, AGEs.
AGs.
Think of them like sticky gunk that stiffens tissues, damages proteins, makes arteries less flexible, skin wrinkly. Basically gums up the works.
Not good. And protein. We eat a lot of meat, but maybe not the best quality.
Often, yeah. More processed meats, conventionally raised animals, potentially higher in inflammatory compounds compared to, say, the fish-heavy diet in Japan.
And this all impacts our gut microbiome, right? That complex ecosystem inside us.
Absolutely. The American diet, plus maybe more antibiotic use over a lifetime, can really damage the diversity of gut bacteria. And that's crucial for everything from immunity to nutrient absorption. A less healthy gut contributes to faster aging.
Then there's just this sheer amount of food. Supersizing?
Yeah. Uniquely American almost.
Yeah.
Those huge portions constantly stress our metabolic systems. Big factor in obesity and diabetes rates.
And how we eat, too. Often rushed, maybe alone, not the slower social meals you see elsewhere.
That social context matters. Plus, we can't ignore food insecurity and food deserts. Many seniors struggle to afford or even access nutritious food, forcing them onto cheaper, less healthy options.
Okay, switching to another major factor, social isolation. You said it's as bad as smoking or obesity.
The research is startlingly clear on that. Loneliness and isolation have profound physical consequences. It's a huge difference compared to cultures with healthier aging patterns.
Why are American seniors perhaps more vulnerable to this?
Well, our family structures often lean towards the nuclear family, right? So less built-in multi-generational support compared to places like Japan, where living with or near adult children is more common. Elders are more integrated.
And our emphasis on independence, while it's valued, maybe it backfires sometimes.
It can. An extreme focus on doing it all yourself can lead to dangerous isolation when abilities naturally decline and help is needed.
Plus, families move around so much more here. Geographic mobility fractures those support networks.
Definitely. And think about how our communities are built. Suburban sprawl, needing a car for everything, age-segregated housing. These create physical barriers to just bumping into people, to easy connection.
Making connection an effort, not just part of the day.
Right. And our concept of retirement, often it's seen as a complete withdrawal. That can lead to a loss of purpose, loss of social ties, unlike cultures where older adults often keep contributing in some way.
Ageism plays a role too, I imagine. Dismissing seniors, not encouraging new things.
For sure. And what does this isolation actually do physically?
Yeah, beyond feeling lonely.
It triggers the chronic stress response, weakens the immune system, increases inflammation body-wide, and importantly, it reduces the chances that someone notices subtle health changes early on.
Makes sense if no one's checking in regularly.
And cognitively, lack of social interaction is bad news. It clearly increases dementia risk. This isn't just about feelings, it's about a breakdown in community ties that are biologically essential for health.
And the digital divide makes it worse, right? if
Well,
you can't use the tech to connect.
increases isolation further. Add to that the decline of old-school community hubs, churches, clubs, and economic pressures cutting into social budgets. It's a perfect storm for loneliness.
Let's talk about environmental toxins, another sort of hidden burden.
A significant one. American seniors live through eras with less regulation. Think leaded gas, asbestos, heavy pesticide use.
So, a lifetime of accumulating exposure compared to peers elsewhere.
Generally, yes. It's what researchers call the exposome, your unique lifetime accumulation of environmental exposures. For many American seniors, it's likely more complex and potentially more toxic.
Things like air quality, still an issue.
In many places, yes. Even with improvements, lots of U.S. cities have higher pollution levels than comparable international cities. That means chronic inflammation just from breathing.
And where people live matters too, near highways, factories.
Absolutely. Or agricultural areas. The U.S. uses certain pesticides and herbicides at higher rates, some banned elsewhere. Residues accumulate.
What about heavy metals?
Lead, mercury, cadmium, widespread exposure concerns linked to neurological decline.
And even things inside the home. Cleaning products.
Yeah, synthetic chemicals, many less regulated here than in Europe, contribute to chronic low-level exposure. Water quality is another big one, aging pipes, industrial runoff, agricultural chemicals. Think Flint, but less acute issues are widespread.
And meds getting into the water supply.
That's a growing concern. Pharmaceutical residues, potentially interacting with the drugs seniors are already taking. These chemicals can even mess with how the body metabolizes drugs, making them less effective or more toxic.
And now climate change adds another layer. Heat waves, poor air from wildfires.
Exactly. These disproportionately hit older adults, worsening existing conditions.
Okay, chronic stress. You called it the invisible drain.
Because it's so pervasive, often unacknowledged but constantly eroding health, it floods the body with stress hormones like cortisol, fuels inflammation.
And today's seniors have lived through a lot. Economic uncertainty, the Cold War, intense work cultures.
Decades of it. Think about the typical American work environment. Long hours, short vacations, maybe precarious job security, healthcare tied to your job. That's sustained pressure.
The Protestant work ethic, tying worth to productivity, probably adds internal pressure too.
Creates this feeling you should always be on, right? Even during downtime. Financial stress is huge too. Pensions disappearing, rising healthcare costs, saving for retirement, falling solely on the individual. Persistent worry.
And just the competitiveness of our society, constant comparison.
Generates low-level stress. The sheer pace of life, too constant connectivity, demand for instant responses, keeps our stress systems activated.
Moving around a lot, having to rebuild social networks over and over.
Adds layers of stress. And our individualistic culture, while valuing self-reliance, can mean huge pressure to cope alone without adequate support.
The 2.47 news cycle doesn't help either, does it? Constant alerts, anxiety.
Keeps us feeling under threat. And the real kicker is, this chronic stress often isn't really addressed by healthcare until it shows up as a physical illness or a mental health crisis.
And it messes with sleep, which creates a vicious cycle.
Totally. Poor sleep impairs repair, hormone regulation, which accelerates aging. And then there's the stigma around seeking help for stress or anxiety, which stops people from getting support.
Plus, maybe our consumer culture. Always needing the next thing, financial pressure.
Adds to that background hum of stress, like a low-grade fever that never quite breaks.
Which leads us neatly into sleep itself, another silent saboteur.
Hugely important, often overlooked. Modern life systematically messes with our biological clocks, our circadian rhythms.
How so?
Decades of increasing artificial light, such as that blue light from LEDs and screens. It messes with melatonin, our sleep hormone.
And irregular schedules, shift work, long commutes.
Forced people to fight their natural body clocks for years. That causes cumulative damage.
Our whole 24-hour lifestyle, constant noise, light. It's hard to find truly restorative environments.
Very true. And our habits, TV in the bedroom, scrolling on phones right before sleep, blue light exposure, mental stimulation when we should be winding down.
Do medications play a role here too?
Yes. Many common ones for seniors, blood pressure meds, antidepressants, can interfere with sleep stages and quality.
Caffeine intake. Higher here.
Generally, yes. And as we age, we metabolize it slower so that afternoon coffee can hit harder and disrupt sleep more easily. Creates a cycle of needing caffeine because you slept badly.
Even our homes might not be helping. Poor soundproofing, air pressure issues.
Right. Not ideal sleep sanctuaries. This likely contributes to higher rates of sleep disorders like sleep apnea or restless leg syndrome, which are themselves linked to faster aging.
And the go-to solution is often
A sleeping pill, which can create dependency, have side effects, and doesn't fix the underlying issue. We often don't focus enough on sleep hygiene, the lifestyle factors.
and maybe just a lack of awareness. People don't realize how crucial good sleep is for aging well.
Exactly, or how their sleep needs might change. It's foundational.
Let's talk movement, or the lack of it, the sedentary shift.
Another huge factor driven by our environment. We've engineered physical activity out of daily life.
Built for cars, not people walking.
Pretty much. Car dependency, suburban sprawl where you have to drive everywhere, even things like single-story homes and huge parking lots reduce those little bits of movement throughout the day.
And work became more sedentary for many. Desk jobs.
Decades of sitting. Culturally, too, exercise is often this separate thing you have to schedule, go to a gym for, not just built into getting around or doing chores.
So if you're not motivated for the gym, you might barely move.
That's the risk. Plus, safety concerns crime. Traffic can deter walking or being outdoors. Recreational facilities might cost money. We retreat indoors to climate control.
Even the medical advice sometimes leans towards rest when maybe activity is better.
Can happen. And age segregation means fewer opportunities for natural, intergenerational activity.
Less manual labor in general means fewer physically active tasks.
True. Gardening, home maintenance, less common or outsourced. Transportation can be a barrier for seniors who can't drive anymore.
And gym culture doesn't appeal to everyone.
Right. And technology, ironically, saves labor but reduces movement. Fitness apps are great, but don't always replace just walking to the store.
Okay, prescription drugs again. We touched on polypharmacy, but let's dig deeper into the culture around it.
Right. Seniors now live through this explosion of drug development and direct-to-consumer advertising. Pharma marketing is intense, and our healthcare culture leans heavily on prescribing.
So nearly 40% taking 5 or more meds. That's the statistic.
Yeah, significantly higher than Europe or Japan.
Yeah.
And it creates that cascade.
Yeah.
Side effect from drug A leads to drug B to treat the side effect and so on.
Compounded by fragmented care where doctors don't have the full picture.
Exactly. Plus, high use of over-the-counter stuff and supplements adds more complexity and potential interactions.
And our bodies change as we age, right? How we process drugs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Liver and kidney function often decline, meaning standard doses might become toxic. Adjustments are needed, but maybe not always made.
You mentioned the Beers criteria before meds potentially bad for older adults.
Yeah, it's a list geriatric specialists use. Things like certain antihistamines, sleep aids, muscle relaxants. But they're still prescribed fairly often here, maybe due to lack of specific geriatric training for all prescribers.
Especially those anticholinergic drugs. For allergies, bladder issues.
Yes, those are a big concern. They block acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter for memory and cognition. Strong links to increased dementia risk, yet widely used.
And mental health meds. Antidepressants, anti-anxiety.
Heavy reliance can cause sedation, fogginess, increased fall risk. Important meds sometimes, but maybe overused or not monitored closely enough.
And the cost, again. Stress, non-adherence, plus drug ads influencing requests. The supplement industry adds another layer of potential interactions, too.
Definitely. It's a complex maze for seniors to navigate.
Let's talk mental health stigma. You said this generation particularly felt it.
Deeply ingrained. Mental health issues seen as weakness, a personal failing, something to hide, makes it incredibly hard to seek help for depression, anxiety, even profound grief.
That pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality applied to mental health.
Exactly. And our system is fragmented. Separate mental health care, different insurance rules, often hard to find therapists trained specifically in geriatric issues.
Unlike maybe more integrated systems elsewhere. And isolation makes it all worse, creating a downward spiral.
For sure. And sometimes normal human emotions like grief get medicalized, pathologized, leading to a prescription instead of, say, counseling or community support.
Is there ageism within mental health services too?
Can be. Professionals might lack training or hold biases, leading to undertreatment or misdiagnosis. And the focus is often on crisis intervention, not prevention or early support. It's reactive.
Shifting to broader cultural attitudes, the youth obsession in America.
It's pervasive. We tend to devalue aging, view it primarily as decline, irrelevance, maybe a burden. This is fundamentally different from cultures that respect and integrate elders more.
And that negative view gets internalized, affects how seniors see themselves.
Absolutely. It's called internalized ageism. If society tells you aging is bad, you start to believe it. And studies show positive views of aging literally lead to longer, healthier lives. So negative views can become self-fulfilling.
Wow. And our retirement culture, often emphasizing complete disengagement, feeds into that. Loss of purpose.
Can definitely contribute. Suddenly that work identity is gone. Age segregation in housing and activities reinforces stereotypes, limits those vital intergenerational connections.
And the strong emphasis on independence can sometimes prevent accepting needed help.
Right. Media portrayals often reinforce the negative stereotypes too. Frailty, dependency. Consumer marketing often focuses on limitations, not vitality.
Okay, economic pressures. You said they're uniquely intense for U.S. seniors.
Yes, compared to peers in countries with stronger social safety nets, this creates chronic stress and limits access to health resources.
Healthcare costs, even with Medicare, are a huge factor. High out-of-pocket costs, gaps in coverage. It deters preventive care.
Exactly. You might skip a checkup to save the copay. Then there's the decline of pensions. The shift to 401ks left many unprepared, or savings got wiped out by market crashes or job loss.
I hear stories all the time, like deciding between medication and groceries. That constant low-level anxiety must be draining.
Terribly so. Housing costs too. Many are house-rich, cash-poor, own a home but can't afford upkeep or property taxes. Medical bills are unpredictable. One serious illness can destroy savings.
And long-term care, the biggest financial fear for many.
Huge. The potential to have to spend down all your assets to qualify for Medicaid. Plus, the gig economy meant less stability for many nearing retirement, and financial scams targeting seniors are rampant.
Finally, technology gaps, the digital divide.
It's real and growing. Rapid tech changes leave many seniors behind, leading to more isolation and difficulty accessing services.
Just keeping up with updates, the complexity, it's overwhelming.
And it has concrete impacts. Healthcare is moving online patient portals, telemedicine. If you lack the skills or access, you're excluded from managing your own health effectively.
Same for banking, paying bills. Even just connecting with family on social media.
Right. Device complexity, fear of scams, and often just lack of patient, senior-focused training and support creates major barriers.
Okay, so that's a lot of challenges. But the good news is, this isn't inevitable, right? We can learn from other places.
Absolutely. Accelerated aging isn't fate. It's largely a product of societal choices. And international models show us different choices lead to better outcomes. We can change course.
This is the hopeful part. What can we learn from, say, Japan?
Their model emphasizes prevention, community integration, and this concept of ikigai, having a purpose, a reason to get up in the morning, often through continued contribution. It fuels engagement.
So purpose is key. What else?
Comprehensive preventive care, good chronic disease management, a healthy traditional diet, and more intergenerational living naturally fosters connection.
What about the Mediterranean countries? We hear about their diet.
Yes, olive oil, fish, veggies, but also a slower pace of life, strong social bonds, multi-generational families, cultural respect for elders. It's a whole lifestyle.
And Scandinavia, known for social support.
Definitely. Universal healthcare, good public transit, walkable cities encourage movement. Plus, better work-life balance, flexible retirement options allow gradual transitions.
Germany's long-term care insurance sounds helpful.
It is. They also integrate family and professional support well and have stricter environmental regulations. Singapore is interesting too, blending healthcare innovation, urban planning for aging, and tech integration.
So the models exist. How do we translate that into policy here?
Big picture. Healthcare reform needs to seriously shift focus to prevention, care coordination, geriatric assessments, and Medicare needs to cover it properly. Medication management programs are essential.
Environmentally, stricter regulations on toxins, cleaning up hazards in senior housing.
Community design. Promote walkability, public transit, accessible housing, zoning reform for mixed use, mixed age areas.
Nutrition. Expand access to healthy food, regulate junk food marketing, better labeling.
Social support. Foster intergenerational programs, meaningful volunteer roles, community engagement that values older adults.
Economic security. Bolster Social Security. Seriously debate universal health care and long-term care options.
And technology. Push for accessible design, fund digital literacy training, stronger fraud protection.
Systemic change is crucial. But what can individuals listening right now do? Take back some control.
Yes, absolutely. While we push for bigger changes, personal choices matter a lot. It's about empowerment.
Okay, so what are some practical steps for our listeners?
Nutrition. Focus on whole foods, anti-inflammatory patterns like the Mediterranean diet. Cut back sharply on processed stuff, eat mindfully.
Physical activity. Think function. Walking, strength, balance, flexibility. things that maintain independence. Doesn't have to be marathon training.
Social connection. Make it a priority. Build relationships across generations. Volunteer. Join a group. Fight isolation actively.
Stress management. Find what works for you. Meditation, yoga, time in nature, counseling, and practice it consistently.
Sleep. Make it sacred. Consistent schedule, dark, cool room, limit screens before bed, protect your sleep.
Be your own healthcare advocate. Ask questions. Seek coordinated care. Demand regular medication reviews. Participate actively in decisions.
Environmental awareness. Choose organic if you can. Use natural cleaners. Filter your air and water if possible. Advocate for a cleaner local environment.
Mental health. Seek help if you need it. No shame. Engage in activities that give you purpose and joy.
Financial health. Plan as best you can. Know your benefits. Use available programs to reduce money stress.
And technology. Don't be afraid to learn. Use it for connection, for health info, but get support. Libraries often offer classes, so the takeaway is, yes, American seniors are facing accelerated aging, but it's not destiny. It's a result of choices, societal and personal, that